The Age of Enlightenment, roughly spanning the 17th and 18th centuries, is often romanticized as a golden age of reason, science, and progress. It challenged traditional authority, championed intellectual inquiry, and laid the foundation for modern democracies. However, beneath the glittering surface lurked some unsettling realities. In this video, I will tell you 18 scary facts that offer a more nuanced view of this fascinating and complex period. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and now let's get started. The pursuit of knowledge in the name of progress often came at a heavy cost. Animals were dissected alive in gruesome public displays, and unethical human experiments were conducted with little regard for patient safety. Public executions were even used as educational events to demonstrate the workings of the human body, further desensitizing the public to violence. While reason was championed, superstition and belief in the occult remained deeply ingrained in society. Alchemy, the pursuit of turning lead into gold, captivated prominent thinkers like Isaac Newton. Astrology continued to be a major source of guidance for both royalty and commoners. Even ghost hunting remained a popular pastime, with elaborate rituals and theories surrounding the afterlife. The Enlightenment emphasis on logic had its downsides. Emotions, intuition, and the subjective aspects of human experience were often disregarded. This led to a sometimes cold and detached worldview, neglecting the importance of empathy and compassion in human interactions. Enlightenment ideas were weaponized to justify racist hierarchies. Thinkers like Johann Friedrich Blumenbach categorized races based on skull shapes and other physical characteristics, attempting to prove the superiority of Europeans. This scientific racism fueled the further exploitation and enslavement of colonized peoples. The Industrial Revolution, a product of Enlightenment ideals, created immense wealth but at the cost of immense human suffering. The working class bore the brunt of this progress, toiling in harsh factory conditions with long hours, meager wages, and little to no safety regulations. Child labor was rampant, further highlighting the hypocrisy of an era that spoke of universal rights. While Enlightenment thinkers spoke of liberty and equality, these rarely applied to women. They were seen as subordinate to men and largely excluded from intellectual pursuits and political participation. Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, 1792, stood as a powerful critique of this exclusion, but it had limited impact during this period. Enlightenment ideas of progress and civilization masked the brutality of European colonialism. Colonies were seen as resources to be exploited, with indigenous populations ruthlessly subjugated or displaced. The Enlightenment's focus on reason often failed to acknowledge the cultural richness and complexity of colonized societies. Some Enlightenment thinkers, fueled by a belief in human perfectibility, envisioned creating perfect societies based solely on reason. These utopian projects, such as Etienne Gabriel Morelli's Code of Nature, 1755, often ignored human nature and the complexities of social organization. Attempts to implement them in real life resulted in social unrest and violence. The Age of Enlightenment also saw the rise of powerful centralized states with increased control over citizens' lives. Jeremy Bentham's concept of the panopticon, a prison designed for constant surveillance, exemplified this trend. While intended to promote reform, it also laid the groundwork for intrusive state surveillance and the erosion of individual privacy. While Enlightenment thinkers valued freedom of expression, it was often a conditional right. Criticism of the government or established religion could lead to imprisonment or censorship. Voltaire's lifelong struggle for free speech serves as a reminder of the limitations of this ideal during the era. The emphasis on progress and technological advancement often came at the expense of the environment. Forests were cleared at an alarming rate to fuel industrial expansion and growing populations. Resources like coal were mined with little regard for sustainability. Pollution from factories and unregulated waste disposal began to take a toll on air and water quality. Later interpretations of Enlightenment ideas, particularly the concept of survival of the fittest from Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, fueled the rise of social Darwinism. This ideology, popularized by Herbert Spencer, justified social inequality by suggesting that the wealthy and powerful were simply more evolved than the poor. Social Darwinism hindered efforts to address poverty and social injustice. The Enlightenment's emphasis on reason and centralized authority also laid the groundwork for totalitarian regimes. The idea of a state ruled by a single, enlightened leader who could implement reforms based on logic and reason held a dangerous appeal. This concept would be exploited in the following centuries by dictators who justified their absolute power by claiming to embody the ideals of the Enlightenment. Early industrialization, fueled by Enlightenment ideals of progress and efficiency, introduced concerns about the dehumanization of work. Machines began to replace human labor, raising fears of widespread unemployment and a society where humans became mere cogs in a vast industrial machine. Despite ideals of liberty and equality, the Enlightenment did little to abolish the barbaric practice of slavery. Many Enlightenment thinkers, including some prominent figures in the American Revolution, owned slaves themselves. The justification of slavery was often interwoven with racist ideology developed during the period. The Enlightenment ideals of liberty and equality undoubtedly played a role in inspiring the French Revolution. However, the Revolution's descent into violence and the Reign of Terror exposed the darker side of these ideals. It demonstrated how the pursuit of reason without consideration of human nature could lead to chaos and bloodshed. The unfinished business of the Enlightenment continues to resonate today. Issues of gender equality, racial justice, and social inequality remain pressing concerns. While Enlightenment thinkers laid the groundwork for modern democracies, these systems are constantly evolving to address these issues. Understanding the scary facts of the Enlightenment is not meant to diminish its achievements. It's about recognizing the complexity and contradictions of a historical period that continues to influence our world. The legacy of the Enlightenment is a mixed bag, a reminder that progress often comes with a price. It compels us to critically examine our own ideas about reason, progress, and human nature as we continue to strive for a better future. That's the end. This exploration of the scary facts of the Enlightenment hopefully provides a more nuanced view of this fascinating period. Remember, history is rarely black and white. By understanding the complexities of the past, we can learn from its mistakes and build a better future.